there are builders out there right now that have qualified buyers, pre-sale contracts that cannot get any loans to build the house. And so Ms. Vaughn was talking about going out on a job. Her builder may have told her that he had a pre-sale. They're expecting to frame it, and then he can't get the construction loan, and this is a qualified buyer. And Mr. Confor, I know from a real estate standpoint, when you sell a house and expecting to get a commission and the builder can't even get a loan to build it, it's quite bad. And let me say this. I hope that we will continue the tax credit of $8,000, but I hope we will expand it to an anytime buyer. When we did cash for clunkers, it was $4,500, and I think the maximum a car could cost was $45,000, which is a 10% tax credit or really go toward a purchase. An $8,000 tax credit on an $80,000 house, and there's just not that many $80,000 houses out there. I don't know what the average sales price is for a house, but if it's $160,000, let's say, which is probably low, you can see that there's just not the same percentage there that there is for somebody in this, the cash for clunkers. So I think it needs to be to an anytime home buyer. But that is only a small part, to me, that needs to be helped. It is a credit issue that we have right now. Even if the tax credit was $20,000 to anybody, we're not sure what it would do to help, because the builder may not be able to get the money to do it. So while I appreciate what Mr. Robson said about the inventory, and that sounds about the numbers that I've heard too, even if we got all those houses off the market with some type of tax credit, we're not sure that the real estate business would, or the construction business would still be cranked up. Right. Because if credit is still frozen, it's not going to start back. And I'd like to ask Mr. Confor another statement about the RESPA and the HVCC and the TILA. These are more regulations that's going into effect that is possibly going to slow down the home building business in itself, and these are just government regulations that are going into effect. Could you comment on those?
Yes. Again, I see the need for that, and the discussion to revise RESPA has been going on for how many years? Forever. But I don't think that this is the right time. Okay, all it can do is just slow down things. It certainly can't expedient the selling process.
Well, I believe that we need to have consumer protection.
Yes.
But I've been to many real estate closings where the attorney hands the purchaser a piece of paper and say, here's a security deed. I have yet to have anybody read all the paperwork. So having additional paperwork there for somebody to sign, to me, is not real consumer protection. Some of the programs HUD and others offer where they can go to a pre-buying session is much better than some of the additional paperwork that they're adding. And one other quick comment on the HVCC. I noticed you mentioned a part of that concerned me. I think you or Mr. Robson, one did. The fact that the lender have an ownership position in that appraisal business, that is definitely not the way to go.
Yeah, and that's exactly how we see that. There should not be a lender having any process in the AMC at all. And we also feel that there should be a state regulation. Okay, as we move forward, states should start regulating the AMCs of their state, because there is a big difference between each state, and it's not the same, and it does need state supervision. So we certainly would like to see that moved in that direction.
Well, I'm trying to put together a piece of legislation now that will address some of the lending as it comes to the acquisition, development, and construction of some of the community banks where we're having the most problem. And so I would welcome the input of any of your organizations into what we're trying to do, and any member, Madam Chair, that's on this committee that would be interested in doing that, because I honestly believe until we get that addressed, this first-time home buyer credit will be good, but it will be a very, very small part. But with that, Madam Chair, I yield back.
Ms. Follen.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I'd like to welcome our Oklahoma gentleman, Mr. Rob